Zoom right now. Is it working for you? Okay. All right. I think it's back. So how's that? Is that working for the audience now? I think. All right, we're good. We just need to mute this one. Thank you. Okay. All right. Is that okay for everyone? Maybe. If there's any issue with the audio, let me know and I'll fix it. Okay. Jumping right in. Because we have a series of case studies today, we're going to be doing a lot of work in terms of trying to understand the current market and managing it with very great complexity in the supply chain. And we're taking a look at something that's new for us in Japan. We're going to be taking a look at openEuler as our case study. And this is a solution coming out of China, which is rapidly building a community. Echo should be gone now, I think. Is it okay? Is everything okay with the audio? I'm using this mic actually. So what I'll do is I'll switch to this one. So for those on the audience who have any problems, it's good to report them like this, and we'll do our best to fix them. I think that'll do it. Okay, so we're looking at openEuler, which is an operating system coming out of China originally, which has gained a very large market share very rapidly. openEuler is going to be interesting for us here in Japan and elsewhere because it's going international. Last year, we saw openEuler speaking with the world. So we saw the organization that houses it, OpenAtom, going to many events and communicating. We saw people from openEuler going to many events and communicating what's happening with this operating system. Why does it have over 30% of server share in China? How does it manage 17,000 contributors? How does it manage over 500 projects? The nearest mental model that we can think, what's this like, is probably something like Android, or looking at one of the other operating systems such as WebOS, or looking at one of the enterprise distributions for servers. In other words, a complete prepackaged platform to build on. Now, this is always interesting for us in a place like Japan because we're building so many products and services, and that is very difficult. How do you manage this complexity? Well, that's the topic of our day today. The case studies that we'll see during this day will explain to us how openEuler is managing the complexity from upstream in the project level through OpenAtom and the actual openEuler software project through to product level where the companies are using it. The reason we're very interested in this is because openEuler is using ISO 5230, OpenChain's ISO standard, as the basis of its management for license compliance. And openEuler is adopting ISO 18974 for security assurance. So in other words, for the first time, we're seeing an operating system ecosystem using the type of management that we've created with OpenChain from final upstream to deployed product. This means that the governance of this code on this platform and the products going to market matches what we built as the key requirements of quality open source compliance, and in the future, the key requirements of quality open source security assurance. And like I said, no one has ever done this before. This is the first end-to-end. That has implications. Now, the agenda today has a series of case studies, and the goal is to take what's happening in China, take what's happened around this ecosystem, and use that as different perspectives to talk about ISO 5230, to talk about 18974, to talk about how SBOM is used, to talk about management. How do you do professional level management at this scale and this fast? OpenEuler is 4 years old, I think. It's quite new. Yeah, only 4. I mean, one advantage of OpenEuler is starting allows you to put the good processes from zero, which is great. Though, of course, doing it at speed and scale is amazingly hard. As you know, if you're in the room, but maybe not if you're watching online or streaming, we're located here in Japan, in Shinagawa. We're at a little room in a little building somewhere near one of the biggest stations in Japan. And those of you who came to the room are very welcome. Those of you watching online, welcome. Those of you who are doing that on Zoom, great, we know who you are. Those of you watching on our stream, we have no idea who you are on Facebook or Bilibili, but we're delighted to welcome you. And we are recording this, so you will be able to see it later. Now, this event is very kindly sponsored by the openEuler project itself. So, you know, getting a room like this costs money, and we're very grateful that they helped us to get this room. OpenChain always tries to work very effectively on our budgets, and we're always very glad when we can help preserve our budgets through kind sponsorship. So thank you, OpenEuler. And this gentleman is in charge of OpenEuler, so thank you. So a lot of you will know this, but there are people watching online, and there are people watching the streams, especially, who will be new to the complexity of the supply chain. You might think, why are they talking about ISO standards at a project level? Why are they making such a big deal about managing an ecosystem with ISO standards? And the answer is that the supply chain has challenges. Doing software is really hard. And in the case of what we're looking at today, open source, like all software, has challenges. Over half of open source has license compliance issues, so over 80% has security issues. Managing that requires processes like ISO 5230, processes like ISO 18974. The exciting thing about today is the fact that an ecosystem using these processes from stage 0 is creating a platform that might be useful. For those of you who don't know the corporate side, in the business world, we have a very complex supply chain. It's not unusual to have 20, 30, 40 companies in the supply chain for one product. And it's not a smooth and beautiful picture. It's a human picture of lots of mess, mistakes, different ways of doing things, different processes. It gets complex. Now, the OpenChain Project overall created the ISO standards and is interested in management because huge companies around the world realized that we needed to work together to make the supply chain better. So in Japan, companies like Toshiba and Sony helped found the OpenChain Project. In China, companies like Huawei and Honor and Oppo supported as well. In America, Microsoft and Meta, Qualcomm. In the UK, ARM. In Germany, Siemens, Bosch, BMW. A bunch of companies wanted to make the supply chain easier to manage. The idea is very simple. We increase trust, we increase reliability, we save time and money. We want to get great innovation and products to market quickly for as many people as possible. And the reason we're here today in Japan, and we're streaming over the internet, and we're communicating with as many people as possible, is that you get this done with community. One company or 10 companies or 20 companies aren't big enough to change the global supply chain. In the same way that OpenEuler requires more than 17,000 developers, A supply chain has tens of thousands of companies, and you want to bring people together. Our China work group has visited today our Japan work group to do part of this sharing. In total, we have over 1,000 companies in the OpenChain ecosystem sharing stuff to make the supply chain better. This slide is just showing a few of the different companies around the world who contribute to our community. And by contribute, I mean, they're not companies that have paid money to the project. They're not platinum members or board members. They're companies that are turning up at meetings and sharing notes. Organizations that want to share knowledge for their benefit and yours. At the moment, for example, Lockheed Martin is co-chairing our spec team because they were interested in security. And they said, how do we do open source security assurance better? Companies like Korea Telecom use our standards to make things efficient, so they spend less time. Now, specifically what we do, as I hinted, is we do these open standards. We build these ISO standards that anyone in the world can use. At the moment, we have 2 ISO standards, and they work in a way that's very, very simple. These are short documents designed to allow an organization to have some defined inbound, defined internal, and defined outbound processes. So it's a very simple approach saying, if you are an entity of some sort, usually a company, but it can be a project like openEuler, have some inbound processes, internal training policy and process, and some outbound processes to manage things better. We took over 20 years of experience from over 100 organizations to make our first ISO standard, to think what's the minimum inbound, internal, and outbound to get quality. Because we wanted every company, every project, every organization in the world to be able to use it. Now, we've had a lot of success. For example, last year, we released our security ISO standard. We saw big increase in people publicly saying they were using our ISO standards. We saw more partner organizations. We saw discussions about new standards, so much energy. Our partner ecosystem, by the way, is different from the majority of what we do. Mostly it's companies and organizations like you, people who want to use open source. But we also have a healthy ecosystem of people who support open source. We have 15 official third-party certifiers around the world, including quite a few in China, which is nice. We have coverage on every continent. Very large international organizations like Deloitte, or TÜV Nord, TÜV SÜD, PwC, Bureau Veritas can certify you anywhere. Smaller organizations like Time to Act can certify you in Germany, or you can self-certify. The important thing is support is there. Support is there with service providers, legal providers, tooling vendors to help you use these ISO standards, to manage the complexity of what we're doing. And anyone can get started by scanning this QR code. If you're online, you can do it right now. The idea was that you can get the processes to solve big problems. The reason we did this, like I said at the beginning, is we had some really big problems in the supply chain. What openEuler has done in addressing those at scale is unique. We're used to company by company. We've never had a whole ecosystem not only do it, but turn up to give a case study and say, here's how. And the Japan community at the end of last year was saying, we want more case studies. We want more examples of how this is done. How do people adopt it? How do people run it? How do people manage it? How do people do things like use our ISO standards in the real world to solve real problems? And that's what we're going to do now. With the scale of something like openEuler and all the different companies involved, just picking one at random, I saw Baidu is running one of the distributions for openEuler. Just picking one random company. All of these people are managing things with our ISO standards. And in 5 case studies across this day, we'll see different sides of that. which is very exciting. And I've also been very lucky that the openEuler community has said they're going to help us turn these case studies into written case studies as well, which will allow us to share them onward. We want everyone in the world to be able to do end-to-end, final upstream to product deployment, using the standards for quality, license compliance, and security assurance. We want everyone to have access to this. And today is a big step in planning that. So let's welcome our first speaker today, who's going to talk about what is this openEuler thing more precisely. This is big, we know that. It has lots of use in the market, we know that. But what is it precisely? We'll understand what it is, and then we'll begin to understand how it uses our ISO standards and why that matters. Okay. It's time for the stage for you, I think. So to pronounce the name correctly, Wei Xiong?
Xiong.
I was almost there. All right, please take the stage. Big hand to welcome. Thank you.
Very happy to go back to Japan again. The last time I came to Japan, Tokyo, is 12 years before. At that time, I'm still working in Wind River. In Wind River, we have collaboration with the local companies like AEC. So I came back to be a business travel. And also, I have my personal travel also 10 or 12, 11 years before. I have a visit here around. So very happy, very nice to go back Tokyo again. It's a very nice place, very beautiful, and the food is good. Everything is perfect. So today I will do some rough introduction of openEuler. openEuler work with OpenChain very closely, and we try to make openEuler to be a very good case for the strong supply chain example. So, but before we go deep into the supply chain and the OpenChain, so I do a rough introduction of what is openEuler. The title is openEuler, an open source for a collaborative future. So first of all, I will mention that openEuler, what is openEuler? Where is openEuler from? openEuler is a project incubated and operated by the OpenAtom Foundation. OpenAtom Foundation is, I guess, maybe the only one until now, the only foundation, the software foundation in China. So but it is the biggest foundation in China. And a lot of software, especially for the open source projects, has been incubated by this foundation. And also, this foundation has set up a very good relationship with the Linux Foundation, Eclipse Foundation, and a lot of different foundations. So we want to build a foundation network to boost the open source industry. And here is the openEuler. Until now, openEuler is the biggest and the fast-growing OS community. And definitely, it's the biggest OS community in China. So you can see how big the scale is. We have, including the developer around over the contributor over the number mentioned here is 14,000 contributors. But actually, if you log into the website, the portal, you will see the number has increased to 17,000 numbers. It's very, very big. And per day, the active developer is over 4,000 developers a day. So it's a very huge number. And the market share is 36.8%. It's all, I think it's take 1/3 of the market share of the server OS. in China. Of course, it's including our partners, and also use the original openEuler. So in 4 years, we increased so sharply to become the #1 market share in China. So openEuler has been used in almost all of the industry in China, including the electric power, the government, the finance, carrier, and the internet, energy, education. Almost all of the industry has deployed a lot of openEuler. If I remember correctly, the totally deployment has over 6 million. The number is very huge, cover almost all of the industry of China. And what we have done? Why we are so grow so fast? And what we have done? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I think there are several factors. The first one is quality. I think that openEuler is quite different from other some kind of community. What we are is we mentioned is we say is a commercial community. We define it as a commercial community. What does it mean? Commercial community. That means most of the active developer or active partners are from companies. So most of the get involved in the community are companies, especially for the big companies in China. So what we do, what we release is a very high quality. I mean, it's not, we don't call it products, but the quality is a product level. So that is why it's used by Chinese companies, a lot of going to different industries. The second one is the business model, I will mention later, and also, of course, the innovation. Here, beside the qualities, I want to mention the business model. I just mentioned openEuler is a commercial level community. The way we run openEuler is, you can see we have 3 kind of ways to develop our partners. On top of on the bottom, we call it the commercial distributions. That is, openEuler is a community, but beyond the community, we need products. But who we can provide the products? It should be the OS vendors. So in China, we develop a lot of OS vendors. So those OS vendors choose openEuler as their base. You can consider it this way like Debian and Ubuntu. Debian is a community. Ubuntu is a OS vendor, right? But in openEuler, we are the base of community. But on top of the community, Kirin, the Unisec, Xfusion, even you can say in China, the SUSE China. SUSE also releases SUSE-Euler in China. So there are some around 18 to 20 OS vendor release their version products on top of openEuler. In the middle, we call it OSCP, the openEuler service partner. So what it is, if some people or some company use openEuler, they don't want to pay money for the OS vendors. They just want to use the free software. But some of the customers want to get the service. What we should do? So we bring up or cultivate some kind of partners, which is we call it a service partner. If you use maybe 10,000 OS per year, but I don't want to pay money for the OS vendor. So you can, but you need the services. So you can refer to the service partner to get a professional service. So that's the second layer of our partner. On top of that is, I don't want to pay money for the OS vendor. And I also have the power, capability to do the service by ourselves. So something like it's 3C, and a very big vendor, a carrier vendor, and also some cloud, and also some internet company, very big, very huge internet companies. So they adopt openEuler and brand name by themselves, and also do the service by themselves. So by those three ways, openEuler take the #1 market share in China. So different requirement can be met. Okay, so when we mentioned, we have talked about the quality, we have talked about the business model, and also I mentioned the third one is the innovation. The innovation, I think there are three characters to name openEuler. The first one is the diversified computing. The second one is all scenarios. The third one is AI. So here is the general information, the picture of openEuler. On the bottom, we support different kind of hardware. We support diversified computing, and also in the middle, we support different scenarios. On top of that, AI is a very important factor we are developing now. First of all, the diversified computing. Until now, openEuler support ARM, x86, RISC-V, and also Power. Also, we have support SW64 and the long arc. These two are very special in China. Most of the chipsets, I think, in the market can be have been adopted by openEuler. So if you adopt openEuler, most of the chipset can be supported. So that is the way what we say we support the diversified computing. And also, when we talking about the openEuler, what it is openEuler is, we mentioned it support all scenarios. Scenario is very complicated. It's including embedded, edge, cloud, server, different kind of scenarios. How can openEuler to support different scenarios? Here is the hierarchy of what is openEuler is. Actually, openEuler is not one OS. It is here is the accurate definition of openEuler on bottom of the slide. openEuler is an OS platform to create the OS for different scenarios. So that means we collect the operating system component together and make them to be a package pool, because OS is composed by different kind of packages, right? So we create a package pool, and we make a software. We call it Euler Maker. Euler Maker is a kind of, you can consider as a compose system, compose tool. Use Euler Maker, you can create embedded OS, edge OS, server OS, or cloud OS. So you have the power to create any OS as you want. So that is accurate definition of openEuler. So in the openEuler community, we provide three kind of reference platforms. The first one is the embedded OS, which is 50 megabytes. And we also provide a reference edge OS release, which is 500 megabytes. And also we provide a full functional server OS, which is very big. If you install them all, it's around 17 gigabytes. It's very huge. But also that is all reference platform. You can also build your OS, change your name, change the name to your what you want. So that is the what Euler is, and why we have the confidence that we can support different scenarios. And what's the benefit for this? The benefit is if we share the same packet pool, that means any chipset, if you support it in the packet pool, no matter what kind of OS you create, it has the same compliance. It can very compatible for different OS you create. So that is the way. And for the openEuler, we have versatile scenario collaboration for different industry. Until now, we have bring the openEuler system into the embedded industry, which is having adopted by some drone in China. Some kind of company use openEuler embedded to make the drone or the automotive and also the vehicles or something like that. And also for the edge computing, some of the companies in China has adopted openEuler edge to make some of kind of not server, just a box which can be located in the family or in the building to control the building electric or the family NAS or something like that. And also the server and the cloud has been deployed very widely in China in different industries. Okay, so that we have talked about the all scenarios and the diversified computing, and now here is very hot, the AI. For openEuler, when we talking about AI, we have two directions. One is we use AI to enhance the operating system. The second direction is we boost AI computing. So we make the AI computing more efficiency. So that is why we call it AI for openEuler and openEuler for AI. For AI for openEuler, we are developing a new software which is called Euler Copilot. So that is very simple way. If you get familiar with the Microsoft is also doing the Copilot, right? Working with Windows. So now we are doing a similar job. We have provided kind of software can assist the developer or user to use the language, the natural language to interact with the system. So you can bring some question to the openEuler. For example, you can say, can you find some text file and searching some kind of string and to replace some part of it? You can use this kind of language to talking with Euler Copilot, and Euler Copilot can give back you to the script or the shell. So you don't need to do a lot of search or very difficult to write those kind of job. So that is the AI for openEuler. And the openEuler for AI, we do a lot of job to, for example, the GMAP to boost the AI computing, to reduce the AI computing time. So that is also what we do. AI is very important direction openEuler is developed. On top of, besides this kind of job, we also will integrate the Intel's one API, the whole stack on top of openEuler, and also we are trying to porting the AMD AI stack, and also in China we have the Shenzhen AI stack. So we will integrate all of the AI stack on top of openEuler. Besides the AI, we have a lot of innovation. Xiong just mentioned in openEuler, we have bring up around 500 new projects. is spread a different area of the operating system. For example, I just list some kind of it. For example, the Euler FS is a new file system with high performance for SDM. And we have the Gazelle, which user mode protocol stack. You can consider it user mode TCP/IP stack. You can to speed up your networking job. And also we have SysMaster, which is software to TCD. And also we have Ursula with very lightweight container engine. You can use it to replace Docker. And here's Shutterwork, which is very lightweight and secure virtualization engine. So Syscare is AI-powered DevOps tool system. So you can see a lot of this kind of new system which can help you to make the operating system more much better. So in openEuler, our philosophy is if you don't like some components of the OS or Linux, we encourage to rewrite to totally bring up a new project to make the system lighter and better. Okay, here is another direction. Besides the openEuler bringing up a lot of new projects, we also adopt a lot of new projects from different companies or even the university. Here, I listed some of the projects which is donated by the companies and also the universities. For example, the Rust Shepherd is donated by a company, a university, which is embedded via a monitor. And a similar job is also done by another university, which is the project name is ZVM. And also here is a company which donated a quick pool, which is a HPC, a scheduling system. And here is a SEC scanner is donated by the China Mobile, a very huge company, which is OS security scanning tool. So a lot of this kind of tool and software has been adopted by openEuler. And also openEuler is collaborate with different foundations with the global developers. And you can see we work with the Linux Foundation, we work with Apache Eclipse and OpenInfra, of course, RISC-V, and here we're talking about OpenChain. Why we work with OpenChain and SPDX or this kind of organization very closely because we think the supply chain is a very key the key factor of the software, especially for the open source software ecosystem. And also here is another interesting job is, everyone knows that CentOS is gone and it's stopped by Red Hat, and it affects a lot of companies, both in China and out of China. In China, there are also a lot of concern about that. So we developed a tool which is called X2 openEuler. We help the company which are facing the stop of CentOS. So we help them to do the migration job. This tool can help you to scan your software to say, oh, do you need to change your software if you migrate from CentOS to openEuler? And also the tool can help you to the on-ground upgrade or migration. So that is the job we have done. But of course, it's a temporary job because in July, if I remember correctly, in July, CentOS will be totally shut down, stopped by, the CentOS 7, right? CentOS 8 has stopped, and the CentOS 7 will be stopped in this year. So a lot of companies are serious about that. So we will provide this kind of job. But in the future, this project will be developed to be a job, a tool which can help the company or the partner to not only the migration, but also do the upgrade from maybe to help the openEuler itself to do the upgrade job. Okay, here is all of the information I bring up. It's very quick and brief introduction of openEuler. And also, I think it's the first time for me to do the introduction in Japan. I hope in the future we can together for a shared future. And here is the information, the official website, the website, the total, and the Twitter, YouTube, and any new information, any project I just mentioned, you can refer to the portal and get them all. And the last thing I want to mention is in openEuler, everything is open. That means all of the projects are open source, and all of the infrastructures are open source, and all of the governance are open. So here, welcome to the Japan partners or companies or developers to get involved in openEuler. Thank you again.
Thank you. I do have some questions.
Okay.
We just had some questions in. We had Kubota-san who asked two questions.
Okay.
The first question from Kubota-san we just had in was, is there any collaboration between partners, distributors, and the openEuler community? What's the collaboration style there?
So I just mentioned for the collaboration way with openEuler between the company and the openEuler is if you are an OS vendor, for example, if I'm a company, I want to do the operating system business. So we encourage and provide the tools to help you to make OS. For example, I want to build a Japan OS, just like or Tokyo OS. Okay, so what you have done is to draw a logo and to do some what do you want? For example, I want this component, I want that component. And then the Euler maker can help you to create your operating system, which is named Tokyo OS. Okay, after that, you can sell the Tokyo OS. Of course, after you get the money from the customer, you need to do your service for your Tokyo OS. So that's the way. But if when you sell out the Tokyo OS and you get the money back, and then if the customer want get some service, you will be the first line service. But of course, if you say, hi, I met some problem for Tokyo OS, I found a bug. If the bug exists only in Tokyo OS, you need to fix it to provide the customer. But if the customer find the bug also exists in openEuler community, we welcome you bring the case and the bug report back to the openEuler because it will affect almost all of the company of the world. So the community will help you to fix it. So that is the first, I think, the collaboration way for the company. If you want to do the operating system business. The second way is operating system business is very small, right? I don't want to sell operating system. I just want to use it. Okay, if you want to use it, no limitation. You just bring the openEuler long-term support version. We have two kind of version. One kind of version is a community version. Community version, we don't recommend it to use in industry. in the real deployment system. But for the LTS, long-term support version, it's commercial level quality. You can feel free to use in industry area. And if you use it 2 ways. The first way is I can fix it. I can support them. Okay, you do whatever you want. And also, when you deploy the openEuler system in your system, if you find some problem, also we welcome you give the feedback to openEuler community, especially for the bug and security vulnerability issues. Go back to community and help the community to make the quality better. This is the second one. The third one is there are a lot of companies, at least in China, there are a lot of companies use openEuler, right? During the usage, I don't want to buy the OS vendor. I want to use it only by myself. For example, especially for the bank system and the financial system, they don't have the operating system maintain team, but also they want to save money. So they deploy openEuler. And some kind of company will do the business like I provide a service to those bank systems, right? You know, in operating system, industry, there are 2 kinds of money. The first kind of money is I sell the license, and then I get the service fee, 2 kind of model. So you can do OS vendor to earn the license and the service. Also, it can be only a service company to do the service only. So this is the 3 ways that we can the company can work with openEuler. Okay.
Now I do have more questions.
Okay. I like
the second one is also Kubota-san's fault. It's a very good one. Kubota-san's second question is, how many maintainers does openEuler have? And are they dedicated maintainers or volunteers?
Okay. Until now, the organization of openEuler is we divided the different components into SIGs, special interest group. For example, the kernel is a SIG. The virtualization is a SIG. We divide the system in horizontal and vertical. Horizontal means the kernel, virtualization, container, blah, blah, blah. And the vertical is robot OS embedded or something like that. So we cut here, here, and here. And any component in the OS, either in a horizontal SIG or in a vertical SIG, the different SIG will negotiate for themselves. So until now, there are around 105 SIGs in openEuler. So when we mention a maintainer, means the maintainer of the SIGs. So every SIG, we recommend the maintainer will be 5 to 10, not too many maintainer. So totally in openEuler, we can calculate around 500 to 700 maintainers. Maintainer has the full privilege for the SIG. He can do everything in the SIG. And below the maintainer, we have committer. Because one SIG can contain several projects, several components, several packages. The maintainer don't have the full privilege for the whole SIG, but the maintainer can have some the privilege for some packages. For example, the SIG has 10 packages, but the maintainer maybe has only 1 or 2 packages the privilege. So that is the structure of openEuler. And for the maintainer, almost all of the maintainers are working in common. We very few are volunteers because I just mentioned openEuler is different from other community. We are a commercial level community. So that means the company, the group or developer getting involved in the openEuler are from company. The company, I use openEuler. I need openEuler to be high quality, to grow faster. So the company will send their developer into the community to do the job. So that is the way we are a little bit different from other community. But it's not mention. That doesn't mean we don't adopt volunteers. But why we like the developer from the company, because it's easy to control, right? And also they are dedicated. They're dedicated to the job. And the third, we can reuse the company's quality assurance system. We can reuse the company's policy to make the developer to work hard, to make the safety available and high quality. So that is why we encourage more and more company to join into openEuler and send their developer into openEuler. So that's the way we do.
Now, we have one final question from Fukuchi-san, one of our online participants. Hi, Fukuchi-san. Fukuchi-san asked, regarding AI, what open source projects do you collaborate with? Are there open source projects outside of openEuler that you collaborate with around AI?
Okay. For AI, there are three ways. The first way, we are working with Intel and also we're talking about AMD and also some kind of AI chipset company in China. Because, for example, Intel is, first of all, I want to mention that Intel is the golden member of openEuler. So it's very close to work with openEuler. For Intel, it has one API stack, AI stack, right? So the first job for openEuler to work is we worked with the chipset vendor to porting their software stack on top of openEuler. So that is the one way we are doing. We want to be the operating system we can support the AI stack comprehensive. So we can support all kind of AI stack. And the second way is we are doing our own AI assistant software. So just like Microsoft Windows Copilot, we also do the Copilot. And the third one is we try to build some softwares which can help the AI, especially for the training system or the RRM system to run efficiently. So in committee, we developed several projects to accelerate this kind of computing system. Until now, we only focus on these three areas. But if anyone recommends some kind of AI software or software stack, we welcome to the guy or the company to porting their AI stack on top of openEuler to contribute back those software into the openEuler. So that is the way we are doing now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. So thank you. Thank you very much for your speech. Thank you for answering the questions, and a big hand for our guest to introduce openEuler.
Okay, thank you.
Now we're going to have our second presentation, which is King. And King is an OpenChain board member. King has been involved with the OpenChain project for a long time. And today he's going to take us on our first journey into specifics. He's going to talk about how openEuler approaches supply chain best practices in compliance and security. So OpenChain standards like ISO 5230, OpenChain standards like ISO 18974, but also, very important, SBOMs. And as you know, recently, SBOM has been at the front of everyone's mind, partly because of, for instance, developments in the United States with the NIST minimum requirements for SBOM, partly because of the European Union, where we see some very interesting developments with the Cyber Resiliency Act and the legal requirement coming into the EU to keep records. So obviously, we're going to be using a lot of process management, and we're also going to be using SBOMs, and we'll have some pressure, I think, around the whole world to try to get things right. So King is just opening up his presentation.
Okay.
And by the way, fun fact, King has volunteered to be the official dancer of the OpenChain Project when we open our TikTok channel.
That's rock. Okay. Thank you, Xiong, for introduce me. So, this is my first slide. Okay. Okay. Thank you for introducing OpenEuler and me. And thank you for Coughlan and come here, Q-Sub, to join the meetup, the workshop with OpenEuler. So this slide I will show the OpenEuler, the overview of the supply chain on security framework. So the first slide is introduce myself. What's my position in OpenEuler? Look at the picture. Okay. Xiong Wei, he is the boss, he is the joker, big joker in OpenEuler. This is position of Xiong Wei. Okay. And this is me. Okay, demo 2. Okay, so I'm a little guy in OpenEuler. So I learned some of the Japanese words. My Japanese name is Takaso. So I learned this word, Taka. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you. So this, if you you can call me Taka-san, call me King, and okay. Sorry. 这个鼠标没过来。可以吗? Okay. Thank you. So this is the first slide. So I become the demo 2. How can I become the king? Later. So this is. Maybe some Japanese guys know this Sakuraki is very famous in the cartoon area. So now I am the Sakuraki in basketball, in backfield. So how can I do it? Do you know this guy? I need to show my hand, just show hand. I'm the king of gambling in the Chinese movie. So I will be the how can I do it? Tell you a story of the ISO in OpenEuler. I want to be the kisser, Diamond King in OpenEuler. This is my dream. Okay, so okay, I will leave some seconds here for take a picture. Yeah, okay. Great. So that's my dream. Okay, after that, and this is important content in my slide. This is a whole framework built by supply chain, including the security and compliance and the metadata and the vulnerability standard framework in OpenEuler and the community machines. Look, this is the architecture in OpenEuler's supply chain. This is metadata ISO, and it's ISO 5692. And this license compliance ISO is also set up by the OpenChain 5220. And this is security assurance ISO. It also the public by OpenChain 18974. And there are some another ISOs, for example, vulnerability disclose process and the handling process. What's the difference between the 5 ISOs here in OpenEuler? This is a 5230. Resolve the license risk from the upstream and downstream from the software supply chain through the whole supply chain. And 18974 solve the security risk. And this ISO. I don't. It's too long for me to read the name. Disclose vulnerability. And 30111 is vulnerability through the precise. And the last ISO 5964 is improves efficiency and accuracy in our security governance because it's better data. Okay, and this is on right side in openEuler architecture to match this ISO. We have Mr. Xiong introduced OpenEuler has more than 100 SIG. We also have the compliance SIG and the security SIG. In compliance and security SIG, we make the governance rules and automatic two chains. And this is our SBOM. We adopt the SPDX and the second DX. We have some more than the SBOM extend field. Okay, this is the whole framework. This is SBOM solution framework. There are three layouts. The under is data layout, and in the middle the service layer, and this is application layers. In the data layers, we have the SBOM metadata. For example, the vulnerability database, and in the middle service layers, we have the SBOM, the website, and the SBOM application service, and all of this we have the established in OpenEuler, and we have public in OpenEuler. You can see our SBOM from the website, and this is a security solution framework. Maybe Zheng will introduce the detail of the after my speech. Okay, we have supply chains. We have assessment system, include OpenChain, SPDX, OpenSSF, and reproducible fields. And we have 4 aspects. First is package source security. Second is coding security. Third is build security. And last is release security. It's a process in the community development. This is This is a security solution framework. And the last is a license compliance solution framework. Next, the security framework. We also have the introduce error and the component analysis and the invocation chain analysis and our dashboard, like the audit and compliance check. We have a lot of modules into our framework. Our input is OpenChain and SBDX, and some of from the OSI, the standard, and some specification. And after our rules and our database and our service here, and we give out output is the Chinese standard, nation standard, and this is a kills. This is used for the health analysis for the community. This is kills is also the very famous in open source. It is also the Linux Foundation project. You work on the health of the evaluate the health of the open source community. Okay, you can find the green rectangle. This will be done in OpenEuler, and some of the services we also supply some of service in the OpenEuler website, and we are doing is in the right rectangle. Okay, that's all. The 3 framework, including the SBOM framework, security framework, and the compliance framework. Okay, this is my first framework speech. So as last, we must thank our key man for our movie star in China, this guy. He's become the small joker at the meeting, and we are very appreciate he organizing the meeting. Okay, so after my next speech, do you have any questions? So my next speech is how we make the 5230 as the standard in open source license compliance.
So it seems right now we're ready to go into the next speech.
Okay.
Which I must say the framework information is interesting. It looks very comprehensive, so it looks quite difficult. But then again, every framework needs a good architecture, and I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these slides, we can make the framework public and share it with everyone later. Is that right? Yeah. Great. Great. That will be useful. Oh, now people are putting the Joker slide on WeChat in China, and they're like, who made this slide? Bravo.
Okay. And myself.
Every time we leave King alone, chaos happens.
Okay. Okay, this is slide is show. Okay. This slide shows the. Okay, let me continue my presentation. In last OCS summit, this slide is shown by me. We can do some previous reviews. A lot of Three Kingdoms character here. Maybe okay. So this last time I think you take a picture. So why you take a picture again? Go ahead. This is openEuler compliance governance 2 supply chain. 2 chains. This is 2 chains. So this time we update it into a solution. I will show the new framework for the solution. Maybe some of these guys, and I will show you some. Maybe some of this character we're familiar with. I will show you some toolings, and we can like the workshop. I will open the website for all of you, and we'll show your toolings what we do in openEuler. For example, this Mr. Shui Jing and Diao Chan and some Kongming, Yu Meng, and so maybe the Lu Bu is also in our website. So this is just the tools. So next, I want to show you how we reach the 5230 and we surpass 5230. 有点骄傲了，就是 sorry. And this is content of the 4 parts. First is a solution framework, and second is SBOM solution, and third is our rules from the framework. Because if we want to make a solution, we must make the rules first, and last is how to we can show some of the tools, complex tools in openEuler. Okay, this is the same architecture next. Just I showed before, ISO 5230 and SBOM is software capability to support our reach ISO 5230. And this is our architect, and under this is SBOM. So I will show my first part about SBOM. Second is governance rules. So I will show the governance rules in openEuler. The rules framework. The third is 2 chains. I will give you some instance about the 2 chains. So openEuler is first community who get the answers, the standard 5230 certificate by the CAICT the year before last year. So after CAICT becomes the OpenChain's official certification organized. Yeah. And this is just what we show, the solution framework. In the horizontal layer, you can find the process, plan and the design, and you develop, build, the tax release, and the governance and operate. And in the vertical area, you can find, for example, a source code repository. If you want the software package source code here into our repo, and the binary software package. And for example, the code fragment. This is snippet of the code, and the code access control. We have the 4 different areas. So if you want the lessons into our repo, we must to analyze the license, and we have the maintenance license list, for example, here, and we review on the distribute license, and we have also the file levels license analyze, the repo, the package levels, and we must check the license capability metrics after the openEuler. So this is what the Meng show you and the Li Bu show you, and I will show you in instance in openEuler, and also to find the license change in different version, like elect search. Okay, after software version update, the license will change, so we must to monitor it. And this is a code lineage analysis. We use the scan nodes for our. This is what the area about what famous doctor in Three Kingdoms, you know, and so this is from this is code snippet analysis. If we reference the snippet or a code from the license, we must to make it into the SBOM, generate into our SBOM. And this is the openEuler's RPM spec license analyze. You know, we must to restore the spec and read the spec into our SBOM. And okay, we also have some of container ISO license analyze. So it's hard, a little bit harder than the code and source code. So this is in the application chain analysis, we have SBOM, and we also need to application scenario analysis. So you know the license like the LGPL, we must to analyze the dynamic and the link and the static link, because they have different copyleft area, you know, and so we also want to make the notice statement word by automatic by our SBOM. So the last part is our SPDX specification check. This is by Three Kingdoms very famous character Zhou Yu in the Wu kingdom. So we also give some of the metrics for the tails, for example, the license declarations and some of the license capabilities. And we also have the metadata check. This is our dashboard. I will show you. Maybe this guy is very mystery for at last. The second is the SBOM solution. I reference this slide in the last slide, this SBOM solution. You can find the right ones is have a relationship with our license compliance 5230. Okay. I will introduce the SBOM, how the SBOM works. SBOM LLMs and the SBOM generation. This is model. You can see from the left. This model, openEuler release one version, and it's a general one SBOM. We have our many different RPM package, and at last we have the SBOM entry. This is the example instance in openEuler. openEuler 2.2. This is year 22 and March. LTS, like the William Xiong introduced, is a long-term support version, ISO version, and we generate the SBOM into the JSON format, and we have a lot of the how many packages? 2,000. 3,000 packages. Okay,
at least
3,000.
3,000 only in the disk. So and also we have repo.
Okay,
Totally around, I guess, nearly
10,000. Yeah, this is in the release version, we have 3,000, and last we have SPDF entrance, more than 3,000 RPM package. For example, we have the name kernel and the version info, blah blah blah. Okay, it's hard to read. This is SBOM. This is the SBOM system from openEuler, and we can trace it for a single piece of the software. And the software is component, transit, dependence, runtime dependence. We can find it. Okay. This is the, we can find, okay. I will introduce the picture from openEuler. This is openEuler's SBOM. We can find it from the link of openEuler website, of the official website. This is the dependence type, for example. And this is a package management view. For example, Melon, RPM, and Go mode and piping, a different language, program language. And this is the software name, for example, the log4j, and this is the software version. You can find it, for example, after you input it, you can find what's the log4j dependence, who is the dependence by log4j, and what log4j dependence. Okay. The next is the license list provided by openEuler. You can find the SBOM on the right side. This is a JSON fair SBOM instance. You can find the license conclude license and the declare license. This is conclude license and is our conclusion for the what we analyze after the license declare. The next part is a rules framework. Okay, this is a whole rules framework. It's also public by openEuler community, and also have four parts of the rules. First is introduce, how we can introduce adopt the open source software. How when we development, how we use the license, and after release, what we do about the license, and lastly is our monitor, how to continuous and improvement in the license. Okay, I will give some of the instance of our rules. Before we introduce the license, we must to audit the license. We have discussed in our SIG, special interest group. If the license is allowed to introduce in openEuler, we must to analyze the license, introduce the specification of the license missing. And for example, some of the copyright license is missing, and we must to check the compatibility of the license, 2 different or 3 different licenses. We must to check the correct specification and the missing. If that, we need to find our upstream project or upstream file to modify it. And okay, so for example, I will give you some instance about our rules. This rules is from the source code snippet referenced by our Huatuo. How it support Huatuo? So I will show you can from this demo. So this is upstream, and this is openEuler, and the upstream project, upstream files, openEuler's project, and openEuler's files. If the upstream files is empty, the openEuler files empty after Huatuo, our scan nodes engine scan, we must to reference the rules about the upstream project and license correct. You know, and for example, the upstream license upstream file is available, but in openEuler file it don't have the corporate and license. We use the upstream files and license and corporate and write in openEuler project. If the license of corporate in upstream is available, and in openEuler is also available, but it's different. Okay, we modify the openEuler license and Coughlan reference for upstream. Okay. Okay. Last is if upstream is empty and the openEuler is available, we master tracing, which is a source of this file in openEuler project. We modified. This is our rules. So this is an instance in our just rules framework. Did it work? Clear? Good. Thank you. And then last is some supply chain tools. So if you like, I will show you the link and the workshop. Or if the time is available, so I will show you now. And this is a picture. Okay, 水镜, real name is Sima Hui. That is by Japanese word. Okay, maybe you know this. This what's for? It's for license and the mission list. You know, after we introduce one software, we must check the license. Okay, so license, how we have the lawyers, legal team, and some our compliance special interesting group. In our, this is a list of the license. You can find it, what license is approved by OSI, Open Source Initiative. What license is approved by FISF, Freedom Foundation, and what license is approved by OpenEuler. So yeah, we have maintained this list. So this is our this is our SIG repo. We have comments after one license adopt one software introduced in OpenEuler. So some of them are our lawyer and some of our maintainer complaint SIG. Okay, so this is first tools. The second tool is Limon. How to say it is some guys 3 days later you must to a new guys. He must be a new guys. This one, Japanese word. So this is for the for what? This is what I read from the paper read by Daniel and Ahmed. Yeah, maybe you can introduce in Japanese who is Daniel and Ahmed. So maybe both of you and me will recognize that two guys.
Yes, Professor Daniel is
Okay.
yes, so Professor Daniel is a professor from the University of Victoria. So he collaborated with my super advisor. So it's a new licensing, also a new licensing. So they work together to study the license compliance and some related topics about that. So I'm also one of his students, also a student of the professor in the world. Yeah, so that's the famous professor in the compliance, the license compliance.
Thank you. 我希望用日语介绍。I suppose he can introduce Daniel and Ahmed professor in Japanese, but I think you do a really good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
So last time I met a chooser, and I was told both of us recognize Daniel. He is really famous in this area. So I read the paper. I found some of the licenses have variant license definition. So we made these tools, the Limon. We find the different lessons, not different lessons, variant lessons. If the term is the meaning is changed, so it must to warning our maintainer and developer. You know, because everybody can write a license by itself. You can reference MIT Apache license and modify one word or one sentence here. Okay, this is the function in OpenEuler, and this is the last dash our license components dashboard. I want to ask you, who is this guy in the third kingdom? I will give some tips. The first word is okay. Okay, yeah, great. super clever. It's Kunming. Yeah, Third Kingdom in Shu Kingdom. It's very famous so it's a dashboard. Here's the dashboard of the openEuler. This is our dashboard. We have different styles of dashboard. One is for version, another is for pull request. After pull request, we have the gatekeeper. Zhang Fei, you can say it. 当年的长板桥啊 ，OK。Zhang Fei is gatekeeper. We can scan and give the dashboard. And after we also have the version in the dashboard. This is detail. Let me show you. This is a detail in the version scan. You can find the snippet here in this is our local files. This is upstream open source files. We can find the snippet here and we can generate our dashboard here. Okay, so that's all my presentation in lessons components, how openEuler to adopt 5.2.3.0 and some of the instance of the toolings we can show it after the workshop or after my topic. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions.
Okay.
So they're actually quite difficult questions.
Oh,
They're good questions. So the first one is the simplest, and it's our old friend Kubota-san, who said, is there any website where we can get the SBOMs used by openEuler?
openEuler.org. So maybe this is my boss. Introduce.
Yeah, it's a good question and a very hard question. Where's the bomb? SBOM. I remember the SBOM has been released 1.5 or 2 years before, right? It's the SBOM is by the organization, the foundation, by a lot of other organizations. So just 1 year or half year before, the SBOM is it's still there, but we'll remove the link. So, but the good news is we have finished all of the compliance process.
Yeah.
So very recently, the link will appear again on our portal. So I suppose it will be 1 or 2 months, in 1 or 2 months. So it's very interesting that if we want to do some compliance job, we find we need to follow some compliance process. Right? It's very interesting thing. So that's why compliance is very complicated. You just say we have developed so many tools. We set up a whole process. We set up it's not perfect. It's totally not perfect. And also I think it's just beginning because I guess openEuler is the first huge community to follow different kind of ISO, the SPS, the OpenChain, the compliance, we set up the whole system. That's why we work with OpenChain. We try to find a way to say how can we use the supply chain compliance to work with a huge community to find a way. So we also hope the Japanese company and the organization to join us together to build the whole system.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we have 2 more questions.
The
and
hard
these are-
one.
Yeah, these are the hard ones.
Okay,
So Fukuchi-san is online and he has 2 questions. The first one is about the frameworks. So the first half of your presentation.
Okay.
And Fukuchi-san's question is, the concept is great, but it might be difficult to do a concept in the real world. How long did it take openEuler to get this type of framework done?
It almost take our 3 years already. And maybe Maybe like the William Xiong said, it's just the beginning. Okay, I'm not sure of how long. And I think after the technical growth, like the AI, we will adopt some AI for SE software engineer here into our framework. I think it's continuous. I'm not sure it's the end of the time. We will do it day and day,
So
Yeah.
basically 3 years. So it's a long process. So it was a big
Yeah.
investment for the community. Now, there's a second question from Fukuchi-san, which is related. So he's saying, usually the review of licenses is a huge task. Many projects face difficulty in reviewing licenses. How did you resolve the burden of the review process? What did you do for the review process?
I think it's really hard for our reviewers. So we have some lawyer in our process. In the introduction lines, we maintain the list and we scan the copyright and license documentation. We also scan the code and from ICE scanners. And we have some function like the variant check, like the SPX standard check. So we build the tools of in different process. For example, the pull request process, the version build process. This is the whole framework. So this is some of the people process tools we combined into the solution here. So that's what that's really huge software engineer engineer. So I think it's okay.
Okay, so I just give one example. For example, license, right? There are more, I guess, 300 or 400 kind of license adopted by software open source. So we have developed a collection of tools to do the analysis of the license, difference of the license, that the license complete, right? But this is a tool. Well, if somebody try to introduce one package, one open source software into openEuler, what's the process? So we set up a limitation of the scope of license. It's only, I remember, only limited to 70 kind of license can be introduced into openEuler. If we want to add more licenses can be introduced into openEuler, it need to go through the tool to say, hi, does the license okay to comply with other license? So that's the first one. The second one, we have, if anyone try to introduce the package into openEuler, we have TC, the technical committee. Every package introduced into openEuler, it need to be get approved by the committee. So the committee will check if the license introduced is compliance with the limitation, the scope. So that is the two way. One way is we build a tool system to help us to identify which license is okay for us. And the second one, we have the technical committee to get approved what kind of package can be introduced into openEuler. So that is the way, the theory with the practice, how to combine the job. It's not perfect, but it's a way until now it works well, right? It's just one example.
Yeah. So, okay. The next topic about the security ISO standard will introduce the rules about the when we adopt the software in upstream. So yeah. Professor.
These processes are done by community.
Yeah.
Not instead of done by each company.
Yeah, it's by community, not in so we have the internal companies, another process, IPD, so integrates the product process. It's very famous. It's a consultant by IBM. Okay. By
What we mentioned only focus on community.
Yeah. All of this is from community.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
How long time you need to consider you get the new component?
How long? Okay.
How long
Yes,
do you
yes.
need?
TJ question. Question for TJ.
I'm not only the executive director, but also I'm a member of the TC, so I know it very well. It could be very quick. Maybe one day. Just example, you can just put the PR. It could be the PR, right? The PR to the high, which packet I want to introduce, and who will maintain it, and what seed it will be host. So that information, if we have some seed info file, YAML file, we just use the YAML file and commit. And if we will track all the information, if the software is okay, it will be approved, maybe one day.
But you have to go through all this process. Right?
The process is like, for example, lessons. The lessons is we go through the tool and set up the rule of the lessons tool. So when we track packet, we will say, hi, if this packet is lessons, it's in the tool. Okay, if it's okay, it's okay. It's not. Also, we will use the tool to scan, but we have checklists. But generally speaking, the people will check. It's a pretty decent job. And when we prove, we just need to check it too.
You can find this. This is the database. We have the OSI, open source initial license database here. And we have SBX specific standard database here. We check it. Yeah. That is OSS info and the building info. So this is the SBOM about the license. Okay. The toolings are supported by the SBOM. Yeah. It is not by me.
Until now, I say the process is not perfect, but until now, it works well. That means the leverage between the efficiency and workload.
Yeah.
We don't want to make this process be very heavy, very sick, and then nobody want to use it. And also we want to do some job, make the process a little bit light. So we do a lot of tools, but it depends on how we integrate those tools into our process. Some of them will be we make a tool that go into the CI/CD. For example, the reverse useful process. Every time when we involve the open packet, when you rebuild the system, it's strange with our period. So how to do that? This kind of tool can be integrated into our CI/CD, and all of the CS also can be produced by your group. So that will be true. So some of the tool we integrate into our process, but some of the tool we create some database or information to be tracked by other people, like also the company, the developer, or even the technical community. So that is a combination job. So, but I mentioned the process is quite different from different company, different country, even. So I think the way is everything is here, and the community will adopt some of the process and some of the tools. Maybe not all, But if you want to build your process, you can reproduce the whole process and add someone and remove some, depending on what you do. So I just mentioned openEuler is not a fixed OS. It's a platform to make you to make OS or make your software efficient. So you can use your way and add something or do something. So that is way.
Okay. Thank you for your questions. I think the most important question is what we have lunch for today.
Well, actually, we're going to have an amazing lunch. We're going to a restaurant in the Prince Hotel Shinagawa, and we're going to a private room and having nice Japanese food. So that's nice. But before that, we have a coffee break, and some of you are online, and I just want to show you there's water and there's coffee. You're not going to be jealous yet, but let's see if I can grab one of these screens and show you more detail. I'm going to turn on video and give you the really bad news, because lots of people brought snacks. So the coffee break will happen. There's tea, coffee, but we have a huge row of different snacks. You'll see some of them are general, a bunch here from Shikoku and also Nico. And then the OpenEuler team have brought gifts, and then there's more snacks over here. So you see, you should have come in person.
What a pity. Oh my God.
That's for everyone watching online. Okay, we're going to take a break here until 11:10. So we're going to have about 20 minutes to relax, have coffee, and just chat. And then the live stream will come back. You can stay in the room. I'm not going to turn it off. And we'll return to having speeches. We're going to have the security team talk about OpenEuler, how it's doing security. And that will include some notes that will lead into ISO 18974, our security ISO standard. Okay, coffee, snacks, and for those of you online, nothing.
Thank you.
But the sound. Please, coffee while I work on that. So this is meant to think and work well. Yeah. Here,
SBOMs or operating some process the compliance. But so we do a lot even some of the video, I don't know. The video of the I don't know if you feel yeah, absolutely. So here, there, we are all collaborating. It's only a start. Okay, that's one sound. One science. I hope that
So I'm just testing the audio with the Jabra speaker. Can you hear everything okay? This is a general test of the audio with Jabra, and the goal here is to be able to hear the speakers in different parts of the room with no problems. So if you can type and let me know if that's working, I would deeply appreciate it. And if there's any issues, I'll try to fix those too. Just waiting for confirmation if this works.
Rocky or armor. 2 or 3 dice, and very small, and just Hi. I wonder
if we zoom those videos.
I can move the laptop closer. So I can bring the video closer. I'll set it up now. I just need a minute to...
It's GPT and it's not moving, so.
Okay. Just one moment and I'll work on that.
We use it to have the job, and the GitHub we have built that we don't develop it in GitHub. We use GitHub. But until now we have environment. So, for example, you want to contribute one paragraph, actually, no matter if you use GitLab or GitHub or any hosting system, it's fine. We have developed we call the and the influence. No. You are
Video.
you can use
Video
GitHub
closer to
post your code, but you continue to.
All right.
Yeah, I will fetch your software. Until now, you just put your software,
That would be fantastic.
back to OpenEuler. Not in the future. Now you can do you host your software and just stack. Until now it's stack, but in future we will provide YAML. You just write a YAML file, and we get your YAML file and take source code and take back to OpenEuler. On top, we need to approve that, and also the software will keep compliance with our release. Then you integrate your software or your company software into OpenEuler. So that's the way we are doing it. It's fast. So in the future, in my mind, OpenEuler should be it's not just like the centralized. Just controlled by small teams, it's really spread all of the. So you can host your local which connect with you can OpenEuler everything from OpenEuler here and set up your branch, and you can do some customization, and also you add something or remove something But the only thing we recognize is some common factors. Sometimes you need to go back to treatment back in the upstream. But at the downstream, everything you want. This is we're going to switch to this video. Regret, just like say, starting your OS, anyone also popular OS. It's fine. These are your everything. But for example, you have a bug.
Okay.
Common bug.
So,
Bug exists in your system. Also, you could be and also some common we encourage back but you don't need to do that. Keep it. But yeah, but you know, if you slip too far, it will be difficult because of collaboration. So I think it should be a very level of balance. So that's what we because in the open source community is central between that although actually one company, but now we try to connect all of the companies together. We are very willing to get ownership, but what we want to do is to make the it's not a volunteer or student. They can do it. You can show him nobody can verify. So to make a high quality staff. So that is a general idea. On top of that, you are gaming, you can do something. For example, a game, you can have a game or some not important, but for the core of the open core of the existence, it's really controlled by the care. I mentioned the core of the life should be general. So we make it sure we have remember we have it's agreement. Agreement.
It's still in my desk.
It's nothing related with company. No company controls it. It's totally under the foundation.
so if you want to message, and so I'm going to give this one. Yeah. It's so fun, right?
It's a little bit different for CRA.
Every time I say you have
Use it. Don't need to rely on the system. Can download. Do anyone. But if you, if you back something, yeah,
You have a plan.
the salary is not
Just finished my PPT.
you need to be responsible for your legal issue. What you contribute. Yeah, it's normal. So if you want to one document. It's just an initial file. But if you don't want to contribute every time,
Yeah.
just the poster.
I see it's
Yeah, yeah, almost all the time.
Yeah. If you want to have
There's a word, oh, so you really. I was on 16.
1 million RMB a year. In the beginning, like, it's not true.
It's funny how you.
Yeah.
The buildings are so strong.
Let me introduce you to
This is
golden level
little mementos.
And we continue to presentation.
And I think we have more opportunity workshops. Also, we should have a Korean group meets every 2 months. So
it's not very expensive, but it's also not.
Crowd of everyone talking.
Every year we can do about 3 million, at least $3 million.
Around.
Member is only the government. You produce it, it's just only from the yes, and say you can be from the company. If you sign from the company, then also the individual or company. If you sign a company and all of the people in this company will be captured. PR number. Ranking because how many PR you provide will be listed in the content. So some of the company will keep the ranking. I want to be the right one, but if you don't care about that, and everybody, they are also this. You can find my name is my user. My user is my name, of the user, and you can find my user, what they have done, how many reads, how many gaps, and how many issues have approved, something like that. So you can see everyone's activity, everybody is actually who is responsible for what kind of
5 minutes left.
5 minutes for my coffee. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. We're going to be back in 5 minutes, so bear with us.
Also, AI now OpenAtom Foundation has been similar. Just in country, it's set up a branch, plan to set up a branch in Singapore. And not only in it's also a global it's for sure and that's for data. So and OpenAtom Foundation has a very good relationship with this fund. We are and also it's hard to
So when you included Japanese characters.
as you know, OpenAtom Foundation has 50 projects. So for big one. And also OpenEuler also
I arrived also.
we are the members of OpenAtom Foundation, but also the social of this foundation. We are the brother foundation, and we are the member. Also, we are being important. It's very interesting. So I suppose if any more Japanese people here, more people will find
Many Japanese.
It's totally not we want to copy another CentOS is not our target. What we want to do is software baseline on top of the baseline. So as for example, you are from the chipset, that's problem. If you want to make the web body, the specific body, or the reverse body, you need to make your these mutants release. No matter if it's body, hair, how, because all of the version is always from the C type. So if you want to successfully the kernel language and integrate the add into the kernel. So any OS create on the technical tools. Yes, it's very easy for the system to share the and also developer. You actually develop software.
They'll start in 5 minutes.
Otherwise, you need to migrate from Good River to the next to Red Hat, or even Ubuntu, a big map. People work.
So, how's the audio? Everything good? Hopefully the audio is clear. If there's any issues, let me know. Okay.
It's a start from we donate
All right, we're about to restart here, and the next part of our agenda is this. We're going into the more technical side of things for security now. So we just essentially did license compliance. And now we're going to hear about security policies and processes and management of that in the openEuler community. Our goal in this conversation, talking about security, will be to give you some ideas of how openEuler works for everyday people. All right, everyone, it's time to restart. Grab your seats, grab your coffee. So I was just saying to the audience online that the audio should be more clear now, but if you have any issues, let me know. If there's any echo or it's too low, let me know. So when we had King on stage, we had some stuff about license compliance, basically, and SBOM processes. Now it's for the other half of the coin, the other side, which is about security policy and processes. And this is pretty important, obviously, for a couple of reasons. One, security is always important. But two, security is now becoming something in legislation. We're getting to the point where policymakers are saying security has to be good. It processes. Now, OpenChain has got ready for this by creating a new ISO standard, ISO 18974, which defines processes for quality security assurance program. The question is, how does that work? We've seen a few people announce that they're using ISO 18974. For example, our friends in South Korea, LG Electronics, our friends in Canada, BlackBerry, and of course, our friends in China with openEuler. And today's case study on ISO 18974 is going to be focused on openEuler. And how does openEuler approach security in general? How does it approach things like our process standard? How does it do upstream product security 2024 in an environment where security is vital? Okie dokie. Who's our speaker coming up to the stage? Oh, there you are.
Sorry, echo.
So there's some echo. Okay.
No, we can fix that.
So what I'm going to do for the echo, and we're going to do a very quick test for the echo. I pull up Zoom. I'm going to mute Zoom on
the laptop in front of me. I'm going to grab one of the remote speakers and microphones here.
And I would ask if you let me know if this is making the echo go away.
So is the echo gone? Does the sound work okay for you? Okay, so that's what we needed. Perfect. All right. So over to you, my friend. Security, openEuler, and how you make everything perfect, no problems ever at all. Don't say stuff like that.
Okay.
Say better.
Okay, thank you for your welcoming, and we have a lot of discussion before, and I say someone in the crowd is actually very interested in this part. So I'm going to start, and actually I'm one of the representative of our community. I'm the community operations manager, and we have our two members from the openEuler security team. It's Jinggang and Yukai on the last row, and I think I will go through the materials. And if you guys have any detailed questions, you can ask us, or you can have anyone in the present at the offline. You can discuss with them directly. Okay, first I will. Oh, is the letter too small or? Okay, first I will show the
a brief introduction of the evolution of openEuler security governance. And this graph have already shown by King here, and I will have a deeper walkthrough for the graph. Firstly, we look at the bottom of this slides. We can see that for the openEuler, because we have a very big community and we have server process across the operating system generation or building. So actually, we have divided it into 5 major parts, and each of them is very important for the whole process, whole procedure. On the left side, we have package security, package source security, because openEuler, as mentioned by Dr. Xiong, openEuler is at first there are 2 major goals for openEuler, or 2 stuffs of the openEuler community provides. The first one is the operating system itself. So for what is operating system? It's simply speaking, it is the integration of the hundreds of thousands of packages that everyone uses. For example, kernel is one of the probably the major or most important package, but we also have a lot of other packages. For example, if you are running services for cloud native, you might need other libraries and drivers and other stuff for the cloud native part. So the openEuler is a very big integration for those packages. So Dr. Xiong has already mentioned some about when we introduce our we have to do some security checks. For example, we have to credit the source downloads, and we have to do various scanning and also license compliance, like King just introduced. Okay. Sorry.
Apologies for that. We were planning to stream the video, but we had a request online to share the slides. So we're switching now.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so also we have version normalization, because we have actually 35,000 of softwares. So, and many of them because most of them are open source softwares, and they are developing every day. So there are different versions. So for an operating system, it's very important to select the versions of each software for each version. So that's what our package, what we have done in the package source security part. And another thing is openEuler has also we provide, as I mentioned, we have 2 outcomes or goals. The first one is to the OS itself. The second one is that openEuler is an innovation platform. As mentioned, we have a lot of softwares, and actually the package itself is built in the openEuler community. We grab the source code and build it with a script. We use RPM, so it's a spec script. So the spec script itself is also considering as code. So we have to scanning code security for both our innovation projects and also the building scripts. And we also have a lot of innovations and optimizations in some softwares like kernel, and because we have a lot of drivers for optimizations for the sourcebound, because you see we have supported a lot of hardwares and for different scenarios. So that's also code. So for the coding security, we have a security design guide, we have security coding guide, and we have a code integration review on this part. And after after all those two are fulfilled, we can start of our building. We build the packages and we also build our innovation projects. So in this part, we have a very good of automation engineering, as I just introduced for in the chat. This automation engineering is for every projects and every pull request in the community. So it is guaranteed. Also, we have engineering coding and we have build process traceability. So in the CI system, each build has been tested. So if anything happens, we can use this system to check which part of the check has been failed or what is the reason. So it's very good. And also we have build permission management for security for the systems, for our CI system security itself. And also after building, and because OpenEuler releases two major versions per year, and we have also some SP service pack versions, SP1 and SP2 and SP3. So we have over 6 major versions every year, 2 major releases, and other are SP releases. So we have done a lot in the release security. We check the whole, we have a security test and a QA test for every package, and that will be included in the operating systems. And also we have integrity protection and SBOM and CVE management. We're coming to this later. And because as you can see, we have a very good procedure and schedule. So this is provided by our infrastructure team of the community. We actually have a very strong infrastructure which provides us the ability to run such a big community. As we can see, we have environment-based, automated, close to anti-tamper monitoring, firewall, image scanning, and vulnerability fixing infrastructure is very strong. And despite of all the techniques or services provided by the company, community, we actually have a very good collaboration with open source organizations in the supply chain area. For example, we have OpenChain, so we are here talk about security management, and we also have started a very close work with SPDX. We have now translated SPDX to Chinese, the 2.3 version in Chinese, and so we will try to broadcast the SPDX license or not license, the SPDX standard in China to this OpenSSF and reproducible builds and CNI. Here is our responsibility and the formation of the security committee. As I mentioned, we have five important parts. So we have 5 different specialists team for every part of the governance. We have our CVE specialist, we have a security specialist, we have security for build and release specialist. We also have a package introduction security specialist. We have infrastructure security specialist. All those important specialists actually covers the whole procedure of the OpenEuler contribution and building and releasing procedure. So that's why we can say that OpenEuler is very secure, and we have the confidence to adopt ISO 18947. So that's after we have learned the structure of the OpenEuler's security committee, we can have a brief look at the the evolution, because as I saw that somebody on the online said that it's a very big thing, and how are we how did we get there? Yeah, we did not get there for one day. We actually spent a few years to get as present. Actually, we can say that openEuler is open sourced at the last day of not last day, the second last day of 2019, and then we started to think about because when we first open source, we have basic infrastructures, and then three months after, we started to think about how to enhance the security and how to enhance the compliance. So we started set up the security committee 3 months later, and then we released our CVE handling process. We'll get to that later. And then 3 months later, we become a CNA. Become a CNA means that we can we can generate our own CVE numbering by the CVE numbering authority. So openEuler has its own CVE number. And then we have used the Open Brain for CVE awareness. That's the tools that we used to obtain CVE infos from all the open source projects and commercial projects. I'll get to that later. And then for over 3 years of evolution, we have come to today, and we have some certificate for our security process and security procedure. So next, I will have a deep introduction about our CVE management of the openEuler community. Actually, we have a very detailed process flow, and it is also very transparent to everyone from the community, the developers and users. We have developed this based on the best practice of CVE management in the industry, like CVSS, CPE, and also ISO standards. And for example, if we have if we receive voluntarily, we can the security team will decide, and some of them are done automatically from community tools. They will file CVE issues because we have different SIGs or 106, and over all of them are maintaining packages. So we will fund the project. This is done automatically. When we receive CVE, we will fund the package and related SIGs, and we will file CVE issues and notify the maintainers to figure out what we should do based on this CVE. The security teams and the SIG maintainers, we have certain rules and templates to find out what this CVE can cause and what is the critical level. And after that, we will set the critical level and for this different type of CVEs. And this different critical types will judge whether how long is the SLA and what kind of fixes should you provide, things like that. And it will be fixed by the SIG or contributor or maintainers. After that, and the security team maintainer will check whether the CVE is fixed correctly, and then we will go to the release, and then it will be used by the downstream vendors. Yeah, that's our procedure. And actually, we have arrange. We have also captured this into graphs, so you can see that there are 3 ways of voluntary perception and adoption. Adopt different fixed strategy for LTS and non-LTS versions. Actually, we have some tools called CVE Manager. It will detect software vulnerabilities in upstream communities and then automatically submit CVE issues through openEuler CI bots. CI bot is our infrastructure automation tools. And also, we also can do things for the CVE community contributors. They can also file CVE issues. And we also have started certain projects, programs across the world for security researchers try to find CVEs for our community reports 0-day CVE via the encrypted emails. We have already have a lot of security researchers cooperate with the openEuler community. Okay, and that is our IT system for the handling public CVEs. As mentioned, there is a CVE manager to file issues, and we also have a tool called OpenBrain to collect CVEs from the open source community and MAD organizations like those. And the OpenBrain will provide also inputs to the CVE manager so that it can file issues on the Git platform. We also can file issues in the GitHub platform or anything like that, because we have stored our we have sync our code to the GitHub. So then we can generate because we have a lot of packages and a lot of special interest groups. We do a mirror stuff and know which CVE belongs to which package and which special interest group and which maintainer. So then we can file CVEs and notify the maintainers. And after it's released, we will do test and release the fixed version. So next, there are some examples about how we handle them. The first one is that we have CVE templates with a lot of information and details. So after we get notified, it will automatically file some of the important things and leave some of the things for maintainers and security teams to judge and field. And after that, we will have some tests and analysis to whether this will affect the API change or the API change. And after that, when the security team and the SIGs have fixed the issue, then we will get it merged and it's connected, associated with the CVEs. And so you can know that it's fixed. And also we have not only for the public CVEs, we have also restricted CVEs for different type of CVEs, because some of the CVEs will cooperate with the security researchers, might be 0-day CVEs. So we will have a restricted disclosure for those kind of CVEs. And for public CVEs, we have a public site and notifications mails to disclosure those. Here is some example. We have if we have patches, we will release it on the patches site, and we will also release a CVE notice every week, and we will also have essays in the CVRI format. And also we have a notification email push for everyone. Okay, then that's the last part. I will introduce some of the best practice for the system. For example, as Dr. Xiong has already mentioned that if we are trying to introduce a new software package to openEuler, we have to pass through certain procedures. First, the technical committee will review why are you trying to introduce the software to the community, and what is the maintenance strategy of this package? Who will maintain it? What's the release procedure, and how what's the update plan? Things like that. And then they will check for the security and compliance point of view, and they will decide it based on some of our automatically generated test and generated results. And then we will have a TC meeting every 2 weeks. So there will be inspection on that. The maintainers trying to get this package introduced, we will have to provide all the mentioned materials and details. And then we will start a pull request for establishing the repository. And when you set up those kind of things, they will have some automatically check for this kind of thing, because you have to file some details about the software and projects you want to introduce. So that's our first round check. And then after you actually put some codes to the system, there will be a license compliance check and several gate checks. We can say there are a lot of gate checks for building. We have this package license check, and we have also other checks to make sure everything is okay. Okay, then we have, when we do release, we have different security requirements for our release procedure. As you can see that we will have LTS release and non-LTS release. We call it innovation release. For openEuler, innovation release may contain a lot of innovation projects and the latest version and things like that. And after, because we will have one release for each six months, so we will have 3 innovation or non-LTS version, and then we'll have a LTS version. And all the good things that has been tested in the non-LTS version will be merged into the next LTS version. So we can say that our security requirements for LTS version is much higher than the non-LTS version. That's our users, our major users will use the LTS version. But for developers or inventors, they will tend to use these newer versions. And yeah, you can see that we will do a lot of tests. And also we have, because we are a community, we also similar to other communities, we have different release tabs. The base OS is the most important part of the OS, and we have everything that contains some of the optional packages, and EPOL is just all the packages. So we provide different level of security because it uses different resources. You can see that for the base OS, even for the non-LTS version, a lot of major tests are done before the release. So I think that's for our some of this is already done, and some of this will be done in the future. Is based on the SBOM to implement management for CVE and license compliance. So that's our structure and the plan. So we will do data protection and storage. And the SBOM is automatically generated based on the CI/CD pipeline and stored together with products. And then the data consumption will be doing integrity verification, license compliance, and CVE awareness based on SBOM. And then we will provide an online service to display the SBOM online and presenting package dependencies and status of CVE fix and license compliance. I think when that's all of them comes out, it will be very useful and very efficient for our community. And this is an example of our software metadata package from SBOM. I think maybe King have already go through some of this. Yeah, this is the software dependency information, so that's we can get everything in the landscape. So it's very useful. And here is the CVE impact graph example. Yeah, I think that's almost all for my presentations, and I can see if we get any questions.
So I have one to start with. Okay.
So my question is about very, very similar to Fukuchi-san's question earlier about license compliance. This security approach is quite detailed, quite comprehensive. It sounds like a lot of work, which seems to mean a very serious commitment by the openEuler team, the investors in openEuler, to get security right. In many projects around the world and many ecosystems, we struggle to get the budget and the energy. How did you get the commitment to do such a structured approach to security? How did you get the agreement, but also the support to do this?
什么？你回答还是我回答？
你先回答，我没听没太清楚。
Okay, so I will first I'll try to answer the question, and if something come up, Dr. Xiong will do that. Firstly, we have a lot of OS vendors and major users uses OpenEuler in their real-time products, like for telecommunications and for financial. All of them are very interested or very care about the security. So and they also participate in the OpenEuler community as contributors, as board members. So they as they are very care about the security. So they will if we have a transparent group or structure to let them join, they will be very happy to join. That's the first point. And the second point is that a lot of major companies in China have already participate or learned a lot about how to make the software secure and what's the procedure should be like. So we know how it should be done, and then we try to set up this group, and as I mentioned, transparently in the community. And because those companies are very cares about the security, and they know that OpenEuler community has set up this kind of formation, and which part I can play in, and then we have, as I mentioned, we did not come to this step for one day. We did this for over 3 years, and we also like done by practicing, and they are interested and they will join and they participate together with the community, and they see some outcomes, and then they think, oh, this is promising. We can do like this, and then we improve a little bit, and then we getting some outcomes later, and then we have got there by step, and they will also use some of the tools in the community in their companies and to advertise this. So that's why we can gather that much things.
That's a really good answer.
And we actually have a second question, if that's okay. The second question is OpenEuler uses two types of SBOM, SPDX and Cyclone DX. So it uses SPDX and Cyclone DX. Do you use these for different purposes or the same purpose?
I
question instead of clicking. Until now, we adopt the SPDX on a basis, generally speaking. So I'm not sure if we have a second one, and I know we use SPDX as basis. So that will maybe one ping back, we can give more answer. So I don't know the second one, right? Maybe I misunderstand. And for the security, I do some more explanation. For the security, is very sensitive for any community, right? So for openEuler, we have a security committee, which is separate from technical committee. The technical committee will in charge of the security committee, but the security committee is much smaller because, for example, the technical committee has 21 members, but for the security committee, only 5. And even I'm the executive director and the member of the technical committee, but I cannot get into the security committee to know what kind of issue you have, what the process is. No, we just leave the security committee to running independently. So for the security process, if they have any security issue, it will be closed running in an email system, which is the encrypted email system. For example, they find some issue and they will contact with the NVD and get the CVD number, and then the whole world will say, hi, maybe next Monday we will release at the same time, right? So it's very strict process for the security. So we take security very serious, especially for high risk vulnerability issue. For example, if the score is 7 to 10, we set the SRA is 3 days. 3 days, we will fix it and online to accessible by any companies. And for the 7 to 8, it will be 1 month. And below the 7, we will set up the 1 month to fix it. And for all of the security issue, we try to fix them all. So that is the general process. Okay, so SPDX.
SPDX is focused on the.
No. What the question is?
Oh, yes.
The question is SPDX and Cyclone are used. Are they used for the same purpose or different purposes in OpenEuler?
So, So SPDX is focused more capability in license compliance, and the second is more capability in the vulnerability. So if we can use the second for the vulnerability issues, and SPDX is special in the specific in the license compliance issues. So we can output them in 2 formats together. So it's a different process in when we process the license and the vulnerability. But we can transfer it into the different formats in SPDX and the SecondDX.
That is really good to know. Thank you very much indeed. So those are all our questions at the moment. Does anyone else have a question? Online or in person? Online or in person? If not, the good news is it's time for the people in person to get a lovely lunch at the Shinagawa Prince Hotel. And for those online, if you're on our WeChat or Japanese Slack, we will send you a photo. We will be back in a little while. I'll just show you my screen so you can see some more detail about when we'll come back. We will come back at 1:30. So at 1:30, continuing to look at different aspects of how an operating system ecosystem is managing different industry verticals.
Okay, this is Japanese time.
Yes.
I think it's half past time in China.
Yes.
So
Yes.
little bit about this schedule about this.
Well, because we already shared it, we might have people in Japan. Their schedule.
So we need to stick with it.
Okay, so
So we need to stick
For
with it.
Japan, not for China.
So everyone in China, no lunch for you.
Don't take that in China.
Actually, yeah, people take a nap.
Long
time ago, I went to the Huawei office and everyone went for a nap at lunch. Smart. Okay, we'll be back at 1:30 for those online. Thank you very much.
See you later.
And thank you for the great presentation about security.
Mr. Security. Yeah.
I think getting to the Shinagawa Prince is very easy from here. It's just a couple of minutes. So this video will be down, but I'll leave the laptop sharing. Yeah.